Hi everyone, this is going to be a fun video. Aqara just released their HomeKey compatible U100 smart lock to the North American market, pairing well with the new G4 Doorbell that was released just a couple of months ago. Great individually and even better together. These devices are not only more affordable than many of the alternatives on the market, but they're also feature rich, helping to create that HomeKit home that you've always dreamed about. Today, I'll tell you everything you need to know about these two products, the good and the not so good, to help you get the most of your Apple smart home. Aqara is well known for their sensors, controllers, and camera hubs. Reliability is key today because we're not just talking about a light switch or a motion sensor, we're talking about a doorbell and a door lock. When it comes to home security, it absolutely has to work. It's a bonus that Aqara products are affordable and offer some cool features. Apple Homekey, the feature that allows you or a member of your home to simply tap their iPhone or Apple Watch to unlock a door, was announced a couple of years ago, but it's been slow to roll out. Today, there's only a handful of compatible options. Schlage was first with their Encode Plus, and it was nearly impossible to find this product when it was first released. It also seemed like it took forever to finally come to Canada, and I didn't end up receiving mine till late last year. I installed mine on December 24th, and I remember this well because here in Southern Ontario, we were having the storm of a century, ruining many people's travel plans over Christmas. So if you're stuck at home, why not install some cool HomeKit tech? The reviews of the Encode Plus have generally been good, and my experience has also been positive. It's well built, it looks good, and most importantly, it's reliable. The HomeKey feature is absolutely amazing. If your household's using iPhones and Apple Watches, then I guarantee you're gonna love this feature. So I was excited to see Aqara bringing this key feature to their new lock. The Encode Plus cost me $400. The U100, on the other hand, sells for $250. The other option that I'm aware of with the HomeKey feature is the Level Lock Plus, which costs $330. In the box, you get the outer panel with a keypad, the inner panel where you can manually lock your door, and all of the necessary hardware for installation. The U100 comes in two finishes, matte black and silver. I have the matte black version, and I think it looks great and matches the G4 Doorbell, which comes in black and shadow gray. This is a single cylinder deadbolt lock. It fits most standard doors here in North America, and here are the requirements to make sure this lock will fit your door. So feel free to pause the video, take a screenshot, or write it down. If you follow the product installation guide, then I don't think you'll have any issues getting this set up. I ended up removing my Encode Plus, and I moved it to my garage entrance where I was previously using the Wiser Premise HomeKit lock. It was a fine lock, but it's a few years old, so it was nice to update this. It's best to start in the Aqara app. You can click Add a Device and then look for the U100 where you'll see installation guidelines. Here it walks you through each step of the installation with a video guide to make the process easy, even if this is the first lock you've ever installed. Let's take a closer look at this lock. The lock uses 4 AA batteries, which is pretty standard for most smart locks that I've tested. They include batteries, which is nice though. Because I'd rather not change the batteries more than I need to, I installed my own batteries instead of the generic ones that were included. Aqara estimates 8 months of battery life based on unlocking the door 8 times per day. On the outer panel, you have a keypad so you can create a passcode to unlock the door. There's also a fingerprint reader compatible with storing up to 50 fingerprints, and there's a lock button. So what about using a mechanical key? For the kids out there, this is a small piece of metal cut with jagged edges that's used to manually lock and unlock doors. While I seriously doubt it'll get much use, there's a sliding cover that covers the keyhole in case using that physical key. I like that Aqara was able to design this so the keyhole is invisible, as I just think it provides a cleaner look. Lastly, there's a speaker and an emergency power supply that uses USB-C. This is a nice fail-safe feature in case your batteries have died. On the inner panel with the cover removed is the battery compartment and some buttons used to set up and reset the device. A quick note on resetting the device. During my testing, I wanted to try this out and it was a little confusing. The manual says to press and hold the reset button for 3 seconds and then follow the voice prompts. However, the voice prompts were in Chinese. So that may be because I have an earlier sample and yours may be in English, but I had to use Google Translate and I realized it was asking for a passcode that I'd used when first setting up the device. So just a tip in case you need to reset this for any reason. This lock is IP65 rated, so it's acceptable for outdoors. The operating temperature ranges from -35 to +66 degrees Celsius. Luckily, I don't expect there'll be any places that would exceed either of those ranges. While Aqara recommends an Aqara Hub to pair the U100 with to get the full benefits, it's not required. The hub can be used for setting up automations and remotely configuring password settings in the Aqara app. though this will integrate right into Apple Home without a hub. This is also the case with the G4 Doorbell, which uses Wi-Fi, so also just doesn't require an Aqara Hub. I have the U100 paired with my G3 camera hub, which is in my front entrance, only a few meters away from my lock. The big feature for me is that HomeKey integration. Being able to tap your iPhone or Apple Watch is such a convenient way of unlocking your door. Unlike many NFC tags that take several attempts to sometimes register, the U100 is equipped with 2 NFC readers for almost instant unlocking. Anyone that's a member of your home will be able to unlock the door with their phone or Apple Watch, including members that may just be using a standalone plan like Apple Watch Family Setup. This is the case for my son, who's almost 9. He's too young for a cell phone right now, but he has a cellular Apple Watch with his own phone number, so we can track his location, we can call him and text him as needed. If you have users in your home that don't have an iPhone or Apple Watch, like younger kids, or dare I say it, Android users, then the Fingerprint Reader is a really nice addition. The U100 can store up to 50 fingerprints. This is a great alternative to HomeKey, and since there are 50 prints that you can store, you can add all of your family members and add multiple prints like thumbs and index fingers. Aqara claims the Fingerprint Reader has a nearly 99% recognition rate, and as you can see, it's fast. I mostly use HomeKey, but I have been using the Fingerprint Reader as well just for the purpose of testing for this video, and I haven't had any issues. Other options including using NFC tags or passcodes. The Home app allows you to set up guest passwords, which could be nice at providing someone with temporary access. I know this will be helpful for us when we go camping this summer and we have friends come over to feed our guinea pigs. You can also create passcodes in the Aqara app, including periodic passwords where you can specify times, like a dog walker that comes between 9 and 10 a.m. every Monday. HomeKey is managed in the Home app, and as you would expect, all information is encrypted and stored locally on your Home hub. Aqara has also confirmed that sensitive data from the Aqara app like NFC and fingerprint data is also encrypted and stored locally. Aqara has an auto lock feature that automatically locks the door once it's closed, so you never forget. An exciting feature coming soon is the door sensing status. The U100 has a built-in gyroscope that can sense the open and closed status of your door and alert you when the door's left open. Sometimes when the kids come home, they don't always fully close the door, which lets in bugs, and depending on the season, lets in cool or hot air from outside, so this update will be really nice. The feature is expected to come Q3 and will require a Zigbee 3.0 hub to work. Of course, you can get even more creative with your automations in the Aqara app when bound to a compatible hub. Since the door lock can sense who unlocked the door based on their fingerprint, passcode, or NFC tag, you could then program specific automations for that person, like adjusting lights or playing music with Sonos, just as an example. Probably not something that I'll do, but it's nice to know that it's possible. Let me know in the comments your favorite Aqara automations. Design is subjective, but I think this looks great. It's well built and it matches the G4 Doorbell nicely. HomeKey is definitely my favorite feature, and I love that there's finally a lower cost alternative so more people can experience unlocking their doors with this feature. But I also love the different ways of being able to unlock the door, like having a keyboard and fingerprint reader. Performance-wise, it's been great. It's worked well, and it's always locked and unlocked for me when I've needed it. I 100% recommend this lock, and I think you're gonna love it. The G4 is the latest addition to the still rather slim list of available HomeKit doorbells that work with HomeKit Secure Video. For the past couple of years, I've been using the Logitech Circle View doorbell. In general, it's worked well for me, though over, I would say, the last 6 months or so, I've started to get more instances where it would go offline, which is really frustrating when you miss people ringing the doorbell. Some have also complained about the Circle View doorbell overheating when in direct sun, though this hasn't happened to me. I have heard reports of overheating with the G4 as well, so just be aware if you're installing this in direct sun without a porch to provide some shade. It's IPX3 rated, which is a lower rating than many other doorbells, like the Logitech Circle View doorbell at an IP65. A rating of IPX3 means it can handle moderate water spraying, so it may be best just to install this somewhere where there's some protection like an awning or a porch. The temperature rating is -18 to +50 degrees Celsius, which is pretty typical. My Logitech doorbell was also rated to -18, and it seemed to work even on those extreme cold days or nights where we get into the -20s. We'll see this winter if that's the case for Aqara as well. The G4 costs $135 Canadian compared to the Logitech at $270. Another popular option to mention is Wemo. I haven't had good luck with Wemo, so I didn't give their video doorbell a try, though I've heard both positive and negative feedback. In the box, you get the video doorbell, a USB-A to USB-C cord, a chime box, batteries, a mounting plate, screwdrivers, and some screws and plugs. What immediately stands out with this doorbell is the size. It's quite large compared to other doorbells. The biggest reason for the size is to accommodate for the optional batteries, which is also what makes this doorbell unique compared to its competition. This doorbell can be wired like a standard doorbell, but it can also just use batteries. So if you want to install a doorbell where you don't have wiring, like an alternate entrance that you may have, then this could be a really attractive option. You're also supposed to be able to install the batteries to use as a backup when hardwired in case you lose power, though I can't recommend this option. I have my doorbell hardwired, though for testing and also just because it seemed like a good idea, I also installed the batteries, but immediately realized that the doorbell was only working on battery power, and the continuous recording feature, which I'll talk about shortly, wasn't working, since that only works when connected to power. I did some basic troubleshooting, like checking the wiring of the doorbell and making sure the breaker was on, but I ended up having to call an electrician who confirmed that the doorbell transformer had blown, so I had to replace it. I reported the problem to Aqara, and they weren't aware of this being an issue for others, so perhaps it was a one-off event and I just got unlucky, but I wasn't about to reinstall those batteries, so I would caution the same for you. If installing with just the batteries, then you can expect approximately 4 months of use, which I know doesn't sound like a lot of time between changing the batteries, but it's still a great option if you don't have power. I found the installation to be easier than other doorbells because it has its own chime box, which means you don't have to adjust any of the wiring on your existing doorbell chime. The instructions walk you through each step, and I'll link an installation video from Aqara that demonstrates each step. The screws didn't line up with my previous doorbell, so I had to drill new holes. Basically though, you're just installing the mounting plate, connecting the wires if wired, and then attaching the actual doorbell. You also need to plug in the doorbell chime using the included USB-A to USB-C cable. The doorbell uses Wi-Fi and doesn't require an Aqara Hub. It's compatible with HomeKit Secure Video, which is event-based recording managed in the Home app. Everything is analyzed and stored locally, and it means you don't require a separate cloud-based storage subscription. Video recording is included in your iCloud Plus plan, and depending on your plan, you can have up to unlimited HomeKit Secure Video cameras. Recordings are saved for 10 days, but you can easily export and save indefinitely. The G4 also supports micro SD storage. The card isn't included, but it supports up to 512 gigabytes with the option for continuous recording. This was the feature I was mentioning earlier that I was saying was only available when hardwired. You can imagine how fast this would drain the battery, so it's understandable that this option's only available when you have continuous power. And you can view these recordings in the Aqara app. The optional micro SD card fits into the doorbell chime, so you don't have to worry about someone stealing it from the actual doorbell. The doorbell chime should be pretty close to the doorbell, within 5 meters to maintain a solid connection. And there are a few chimes to choose from in the Aqara app, and they're pretty loud so it's easy to hear. Though I prefer the HomePod chime. If you have HomePods, the original mini or the latest HomePod that was released earlier this year, then you can have your doorbell chime play right on your HomePod. I love this option because I have HomePods in almost every room, so regardless of where I am in the house, I know I'll hear if someone's at the door. Another feature that I love with HomeKit doorbells is the Apple TV notification. If you're watching TV and someone rings the doorbell, then not only will you get the notification on your TV, but also a video feed of who's at the door. Both HomeKit Secure Video and the Aqara app have facial recognition, which is helpful to know who's at your door. You can receive notifications on your phone, your watch, or when using HomePods, it will announce who's at the door if it recognizes the person.
It looks like Ashlyn Lloyd is at the door.
Let's talk about the camera because this has received a lot of feedback. The camera resolution is 1080p, which is the maximum resolution for HomeKit Secure Video, though hopefully we see this change to 4K soon, or at least 2K. The video angle is 162 degrees, though as you can see, it's 16:9 landscape, not portrait. For most places, this could be fine, though portrait video on your doorbell means that you're gonna miss packages. Basically, forget about package detection with this doorbell. You could probably add a wedge to angle the doorbell down, but then you would miss faces, so that doesn't really make sense either. To be honest, package detection was pretty hit or miss for me anyway, at least in my experience, so I'm not that broken up about it. The other criticism is there's no HDR, which means faces can be hard to see, especially on sunny days. Here's a video comparison between my Logitech CircleView doorbell and the Aqara G4. The video isn't bad on the G4, but you can notice the lack of high dynamic range. The doorbell includes a PIR motion sensor exposed to HomeKit, which is how events are recorded. This can also be helpful for creating automations, like turning on outdoor lights when motion's detected. In the Home app, you can create activity zones, so perhaps you want to receive alerts when someone's approaching your home, but you don't want to be bombarded every time a pedestrian walks by your home on the sidewalk. You can't create activity zones in the Aqara app, though you can create privacy zones if there's specific areas that you don't want to be recorded. As you would expect, there's night vision, which I would say is okay. Faces tend to be a little blown out, though if you have porch lights that also turn on when motion's detected, then this will help the video.
The two-way audio works fine, and I haven't had any issues communicating with someone at the front door.
Overall, I would say the G4 isn't the most premium doorbell on the market, but in my opinion, it absolutely outperforms that $135 price tag. This is a nice doorbell with good video and has HomeKit secure video and an option for continuous recording. And there's a lot of people that are really going to benefit from that battery-only option. Especially if you're on a budget, then you're going to be really impressed with how much you get for the price. If you're bothered by the size, the lack of HDR video, or not being able to see packages, then this may not be the doorbell for you. Either way, it's great to see more options for Apple HomeKit users, and the G4 looks great next to the U100 doorbell. I know I've covered a lot in this video and I wasn't able to get to every single feature, but hopefully this helped you to understand both of these products a little bit better. I'll have affiliate links in the description that help to support the channel if you're interested in picking up either the G4 doorbell or the U100 smart lock. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.